And back to the local markets and a tough day on the bourse. I spoke with Martin Lakos from Macquarie Private Wealth. Well, Martin Lakos, the market closed well off its lows, but it seemed to be a bit of a hard grind there.
Yeah, Tiki, it certainly was. The last 2 days' rally was building in some expectation of some positive announcements out of China on further stimulation for growth, bringing forward infrastructure projects, possible additional liquidity into the lending market and lower interest rates. But it does appear that is not forthcoming, or certainly wasn't today. Market was down about 42 points at its worst, and we slowly but surely, as you said, ground higher, closing down about 20 points. Pretty much all sectors were down. The worst being affected, obviously, are the risk-off sectors, so the materials and energy sectors coming off almost 1% together. The standard defensive sectors performed slightly better, but also couldn't hold up. The banks down about 0.3%, utilities up a little bit, as were telcos.
And those disappointing retail trade figures, did that have any impact with retail stocks?
Well, not specifically to the stocks. To give you an idea, Myers down 1 cent today at 1.98. JB Hi-Fi down up 6 cents to 9.15, and David Jones down 5 to 2.25. Those numbers that came out for April, which was down 0.2% across all stores and department stores. The weakest probably Victoria. But what was interesting is that number still shows up that the general pace of growth in retail sales is well below trend.
A couple of stocks. Origin Energy to end its production in the US of photovoltaic solar cells. Should the market be worried about a write-down on the joint venture business there?
Well, it looks like that the value is about $134 million already. So, look, that's relatively small compared to their LNG projects. I'm not quite sure what's behind this move by Origin, but I think that the market's focusing a little bit more on the potential sale of some of their LNG interests to help fund the ongoing financial investment decision process for the second train on the Asia-Pacific LNG. Now, to give you an example, Woodside, only a couple of weeks ago, sold a 14.5% stake in Browse, raising $2 billion to assist that funding. Origin also announced $8.5 billion of project funding. The stock closed down 6 to 13.03. So really the solar voltaic issue didn't really come into the picture today.
Yes, gas is king, it seems. And Wesfarmers has provided a briefing for investors today. What should investors be focusing on? Yeah,
an incredibly detailed briefing, in fact. So analysts attended this briefing. The presentation document was 237 pages long, so an enormous amount of information for analysts to absorb. Look, the broad picture is the Coles implementation of the strategy. The first 5 years is going well. They talk about there's strong momentum in Kmart, in Coles and in Officeworks, and that stock was down 6 cents to 28.95.
Quite a briefing, as you say. Martin Lakos, thank you very much for joining us.
Always a pleasure, Tiki. Thanks.
To the other major movers on the local share market. Systems developer TZ Limited was smashed, plummeting 43% as it lost its CEO and a lucrative tender. Flinders Mines is in a trading halt pending an announcement over a Russian court action which will determine the fate of a takeover. Coalspur Mines fell 3% as it appointed a new managing director, and gold producer Newcrest was down with the precious metal on the slide. Turning to currency markets, where the dollar's been under pressure all day. And in commodities, in New York, oil edged down to $90.73 a barrel and gold tumbled to $1,550 an ounce.